Wet Wednesday. Most of us just in for a whole mess of rain, but a select few will have a couple flakes. First of the season, we'll tell you who.
Medical mystery, a successful heart transplant and then a setback. What went wrong that even doctors can't figure out.
And a plea deal for Pugh. The disgraced former Detroit Council president strikes a deal just a few hours before he was to appear in court. We'll start there tonight at 11. Pugh is charged in connection with sexually inappropriate behavior with a 14-year-old boy.
The accusations date back to 2003 when he was a news reporter, and in just a few hours he's expected to appear before a judge for a pretrial hearing.
Jermont Terry following these new developments for us. This just came down this afternoon, but Pugh has maintained his innocence all along on these charges, Jermont.
Yeah, you're right, Devin. From the civil cases to this criminal case of sexual conduct, Pugh insisted that he never did anything wrong. But tomorrow he's expected to go on record and make a plea admitting that he did in fact have a sexual relationship with a then underage boy. The fall of former Detroit City Council President Charles Pugh is likely to hit its lowest point. Local 4 News has confirmed Pugh reached a plea deal in the criminal sexual assault case against him. Instead of going to trial, Pugh will plead guilty. When his accuser, who's now 28, was 14, he testified back in August how Pugh and him started a mentoring relationship that quickly grew into sex.
He says, that was wrong. Don't tell anyone. I can get in really big trouble. Please don't tell anyone.
Pugh lost a separate but similar civil case last year, but this is criminal. He stood to spend decades in prison if convicted.
And obviously, time in prison, time of your life, is much more valuable than any amount of money.
Legal expert Neil Rockheim isn't surprised Pugh copped the plea. He adds Pugh is just confirming what the court of public opinion had already decided.
We start to believe the stuff. We start to disregard the denials. And then the legal system sort of catches up to the court of public opinion.
Remember, Pugh abandoned his position with the city and ran to New York City when the first allegations surfaced. And despite getting brought back to his home city in handcuffs, Pugh isn't fighting anymore. But is this the end of the Pugh saga?
It's the last page of the final chapter.
Now, before this plea that was expected tomorrow, Pugh, I should say, was expected to have a trial that was scheduled to start for November 7th. Likely that's going to be off, and we'll see how everything plays out tomorrow morning here in court. Reporting live in downtown, Jermont Terry, Local 4.
Jermont, I know we will have to wait and see, but there's been a lot of talk tonight. He was facing 6 counts. What's the word on what he's actually going to plead to when we get to tomorrow?
Well, we expect him to make a plea to the lesser charges. He had 3 counts of a first-degree sexual conduct, and that's expected to be dropped. So he's likely going to go for the lesser plea, which of course comes with less time in prison as well.
All right, Jermont, Local 4 and Click on Detroit, your home for the latest developments on the Pugh case. We will live stream tomorrow's hearing. It gets started at 9 a.m.
And if you want to catch up on the investigation and see how we got here to this point, we have it all for you on the homepage of clickondetroit.com.
That 4-letter S word you may not quite be ready to hear just yet.
Especially after temperatures in the 70s last week. Ben is here tracking changes in the forecast, Ben.
You know, guys, it is just such a minor event, but nevertheless, it's something we can't discount. We'll see a few flakes. Right now, it's just rain that we're picking up in the southwest corner of the state in northern Indiana. And again, as we said at the top of the show, most of us are just going to get rain, and we'll even see some warmer temperatures once we get towards the end of the forecast, but it is chilly tonight. Outside of the metro zone, which is still hanging on to those 40s, it's 30s everywhere, and we're going to continue dropping tonight. Low to mid 30s is likely what most of us are going to see as we head towards the morning. Temperatures will ramp up. We'll get into the 40s tomorrow. Most of that rain is going to be backloaded towards the afternoon and evening. Could see a couple showers hanging around by probably noon tomorrow. But coming up, we'll talk more about who's going to get those flakes and how much in just a few minutes. Guys?
Another day, another elected official hauled off by the FBI in Macomb, and the company at the center of the political corruption probe sees its CEO resign. Tonight, the new interim CEO hit the pavement to see if Rizzo will be able to, if you will, salvage business. Mara McDonald live in Dearborn Heights tonight. Mara, the Rizzo garbage contract was in the crosshairs here.
It sure was, Devin, big time. But after a contentious meeting and a pretty rough vote, Rizzo wins the day 4-2. Take a look.
Dearborn Heights means a lot to us as a company. As being the founder and CEO of the company, that's why I'm here.
Rizzo's new interim CEO went on the offense tonight. Patrick Dovigi is actually the CEO of multi-billion-dollar Green for Life, or GFL, the environmental company out of Canada that just bought Rizzo at the end of last month and found itself smack dab in the middle of a federal probe. Dovigi is now running the day-to-day at Rizzo since well-known company CEO Chuck Rizzo resigned abruptly today after a second Macomb elected official, Cliff Freitas, a Macomb Township trustee, was busted by the FBI for shaking down Rizzo for bribes.
Chuck and I agreed that it was becoming a distraction and that it was probably in the best interest of the business that it became under new leadership, and that's why the decision was made today.
Dovigi went to Dearborn Heights to salvage the contract the city had already agreed to with Rizzo. It was up to a final vote tonight.
I don't like the fact that every other week we're getting a surprise.
And council members were leery of approving it.
The mayor's administration pushed Rizzo.
And 3 members of the audience complained about it, but in the end, Dearborn Heights went with Rizzo.
It's unfortunate we're in the situation we are, but we will prove, like we did tonight, to many of the other councils that they should trust us and believe in what we stand for and what we're going to move forward to.
Back here live, Dovigi also made this offer to the Dearborn Heights City Council. Hey, you don't like our service after 6 months? You can get rid of us. It's probably an offer he's going to be having to make at multiple municipalities over the coming months and at least years. We are live in Dearborn Heights tonight. I'm Mara McDonald, Local 4.
All right, Mara, and let's stay in Macomb County. We expect to learn more tomorrow about a raid at a Sterling Heights strip mall. The Macomb County Sheriff's Office blocked off several businesses on Van Dyke between 15 and 16 Mile Roads this afternoon, and they were seen loading evidence into a trailer. Investigators are not telling us much about what this meant or what was going on, only that it's a case that involves drugs and money.
People in Ann Arbor are calling for change after a 16-year-old was hit and killed by a car while crossing the street. Justin Tang was hit outside Huron High School at the intersection of Fuller Road and Huron Parkway. It happened this morning. Some argue this could have been prevented if the city had better crosswalks, especially in that school zone.
An Inkster man is accused of setting up an iPad to record his girlfriend's 16-year-old daughter in the shower. The teenager noticed the iPad recording her. She threw a towel on it and told her mother. Larry Stitt turned himself into police. He's charged with 6 counts, and that includes filming someone without their knowledge. He'll be back in court tomorrow.
Ann Arbor could end up spending more than $250,000 on deer management efforts next year. The city has an expected cost of more than $258,000 if it carries out a combination lethal and non-lethal program. The plan includes shooting up to 100 deer and sterilizing up to 60.
Still to come tonight, could the election already be decided? You will see how a Halloween store has been correctly predicting elections since 1966.
We'll see what they have to say tonight. And FaceTime connects people from long distances, but for one woman, it opened her eyes to horror. What unfolded on the other side of her phone that had her calling police. Sandra?
It's a medical mystery even doctors can't explain. After a successful heart transplant, a local teen ends up back in the hospital. A major setback that has nothing to do with his heart. The story coming up.
Coming up tomorrow morning on Local 4 News Today. So this has been a fixture on the side of one local freeway for years. And tomorrow it's coming down. Find out why your ride home might look a little different. Plus, it's Wellness Wednesday, which means the doctor is in.
The biggest threat to kids on Halloween is not what you think. Tomorrow at 5 a.m., the simple steps that everyone can take to keep trick-or-treaters a little safer.
And wake up with weather and traffic on the 4s as well. We get started at 4:30 to 7 a.m. See you in the morning.
The votes are. His life-saving journey captured hearts across the country.
He did well through the beginning part of the year. I was going to try to run with them, so I couldn't run. Like, my legs felt like jello.
Now a mysterious illness that the doctors can't explain. We first introduced you to Trevor last year as he was waiting for a new heart.
Well, he finally got one and everything seemed perfect until he had a crushing setback. Sandra Ali takes you through his journey.
We have been following Trevor Sullivan's story now since March of last year, when we first heard about the Southfield teen who was on the transplant list waiting for a new heart. We brought you the celebration last Christmas after Trevor could finally go home for the holidays after a successful transplant. And then this summer, a major setback not even doctors can explain.
I feel amazing.
Amazing?
It's amazing.
Celebrating during the holidays last year, the Sullivans thought the worst of their ordeal was behind them. Trevor Sullivan, now 15, had just undergone a life-saving heart transplant and was home for the first time in many months.
He did well for the beginning part of the year. He went back to school in March.
The Sullivans say they were enjoying having Trevor back home and getting back into the swing of things. For the first time in a long while, they even took a family vacation, a camping trip over the summer in July.
It was a great week for him.
But after that trip, things took a turn for the worse.
Shortly after that, he started to say his legs felt funny, but he really didn't have any further description.
Trevor says his body started to feel weak.
The week before I was admitted, we were at my grandparents' house, and my cousins, they were all outside playing with Nerf guns. I was going to try to run with them, so I couldn't run. Like, my legs felt like jello.
At first, the Sullivans didn't know what to think.
I mean, the first thing that goes to your mind, I guess, would be, goodness, is this some type of rejection, transplant issue, or anything like that?
Doctors quickly ruled out any issues or complications with Trevor's new heart, but there were still so many questions.
Initial thoughts were it was possibly one of his medications, the level was too high. That wasn't the situation. That turned out to be fine.
Trevor was admitted back to Mott Children's Hospital in Ann Arbor. Neurologists started running a battery of tests, even consulting with doctors across the country and around the world looking for input on Trevor's case. Trying to figure out how this teenage boy, who seemed to be doing great after a successful transplant, suddenly had trouble walking or moving his arms without help.
When I first was admitted, I could still walk, actually, and then it got worse and worse and worse.
Trevor spent weeks in the hospital, and still, doctors couldn't explain what was happening to his body and why.
To see your kid kind of running across the beach at a campground and throwing a football, shooting basketball, and all of a sudden now he can't walk, he can't run, he can't do anything. It's like, wow, what the heck just happened here?
Trevor spent the last several months working with both physical and occupational therapists for hours at a time every day. While doctors still don't have an exact diagnosis, they believe Trevor may have caught a rare virus that in turn is affecting his spine, but they're still not 100% sure. As Trevor works to slowly regain his strength, the community at Groves High School continues to rally for the Sullivans, even honoring Trevor at a recent football game rally.
I haven't forgotten who he is. When I saw the kids had nominated him on the homecoming court, I was like, wow, he hasn't been there, but you guys are not going to let him forget about school and school forget about him.
A family that's already been through so much, trying to stay strong, faced with yet another setback.
That's all you can do, really. I mean, you've got choices, either handle it well or don't handle it well, so you just have to keep going with it.
The bright spot in all of this, Trevor can finally head home. He's being discharged, but he will still need physical and occupational therapy, at least for the foreseeable future. Back to you.
Good news there. Strong young man, too.
It really is. And I think we all, I don't think I'll ever forget that video of watching him when he first came out of the surgery.
Miracle.
Unbelievable.
All right, here's a look at what Dr. Frank McGeorge is working on for tomorrow night.
It's 4 stories of terrifying fun, but what really happens to your heart inside a haunted house? Well, I'm wired up and ready to find out. Tomorrow night, come along with me as the ghosts and zombies do their best to put a fright in my night. Then see how the heart-pounding action compares to some of life's other thrills and chills tomorrow night at 11.
You know, McGeorge has a dark side. Do those words go together? Terrifying fun?
No.
What's that about?
He gets paid for that. I mean, that's part of the job.
Yeah, I was loving it.
We've got a pretty cool night tonight, but we've got a wet day tomorrow, and of course, we got to start talking about the S word. Have you calmed down since?
I've calmed down a little bit. I no longer have anger toward you.
Well, good.
Set some tea, candles.
Right.
Well, at least we got that covered. Beautiful shot downtown. Of course, it's a little heartbreaking knowing that the first game of the World Series is going on, and stadium's a little dark down there in downtown Detroit, but hey, Ford Field looks nice, all lit up in pink there on the roof, but temperatures outside cool to say the least. 42. Right now the wind is calm, so the wind chill is matching the temperature, but if we get any wind at all overnight, yes, we will be having a wind chill as we head towards tomorrow morning. So we're at 42. Notice how these temperatures are warmer out here. 50s and still even 60s. In fact, right now in Kansas City, it's close to 70 degrees. We're not going to get that warm, but we definitely have an uptick in temperatures as we head towards the upcoming weekend. So tomorrow is going to be the coldest that we have to deal with. And those temperatures may get cold enough that some of what you're seeing here as rain on the radar could turn into a few wet snowflakes as we get into tomorrow. But as far as the start of tomorrow goes, we'll get to work and school dry as we're expecting just clouds in the morning. The last of maybe a couple breaks in those clouds for a few rays of sunshine will be there. Then those clouds get thicker. By the time we get towards about 1 or 2 o'clock, we'll see the first round of rain push through. That lifts to the north. We get a little bit of a break. And then we look for the more widespread rain to start moving in here about this time tomorrow night. And through the overnight hours as well, we'll continue to see this scattered light rain finally drying up as we head towards about lunchtime on Thursday. So temperature wise tonight, obviously chilly, but we will be dry. 35 for the overnight low, and we'll keep those winds on the light side. Highs not even hitting 50 degrees tomorrow. 47 is as good as it gets. If we do see a few of those snowflakes, most likely spot is going to be in our north zone and probably after the sun goes down about 9, 10 o'clock at night. No accumulation expected. In fact, a lot of us won't even notice they're there. As far as rainfall totals go, it's going to be a good soaking, about 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch across most of the area. South zone will get a lot of that rain, especially out here in Lenawee County. Models picking up on possibly as much as an inch of rain there in the northern part of Lenawee County and also in that southwest corner of our west zone towards Manchester. Otherwise, the rest of us, again, about 3/4 to 1/2 an inch. And in our north zone, similar numbers by tomorrow. As far as the warm-up goes, here it is coming on over the weekend. 56 Friday, 63 on Saturday. Halloween doesn't look all that bad either. We'll still be in the 60s. And remember, average this time of year, upper 50s. So at least for part of that forecast, we're doing pretty good. Here's today's little pumpkins. Look at Jack. He is dressed.
We got an octopus.
Octopus, yep.
Yeah, yeah, he's got 8 legs there. Yeah. He's from Canton, and he's not ready to be calamari just yet.
Right.
Gonna go and get some candy. So
looks like he's got a little tooth coming in too at the bottom.
One, exactly right. Yep.
Just one. Cute pig, Jack.
So cute. All right, well, the pictures are chilling. A college student with a gun pointed at his head, all while his girlfriend watched in horror from 200 miles away.
Also, a violent carjacking attempt caught on camera, and this was just part of one man's very dangerous crime spree.
After 2 carjackings and a chase, a Nevada man was shot and killed by police. It started in Las Vegas when the 28-year-old suspect punched a woman and stole her car at a gas station. He then led police on a chase and stopped at a car dealership. There, he violently threw a man to the ground and tried to steal his car. Bystanders stopped him, and moments later, police arrived. One of them opened fire, killing the man. That officer is on administrative leave pending the investigation.
A college student was beaten and robbed at gunpoint by 3 men, and the whole time his girlfriend was watching it unfold on FaceTime. The student was in his apartment in Austin, Texas, FaceTiming with his girlfriend who was in Dallas. 3 men barged in and started to beat him. His girlfriend thought quickly enough to grab a few screenshots of what was happening while her father called 911. The robbers made off with thousands of dollars in music equipment. The student was shaken up but not hurt.
My goodness. Donald Trump might not be winning in some of the presidential polls, but he's definitely winning in this one. We're talking about Halloween mask sales.
You're going to see a few Trumps around this October 31st. Trump masks are outselling Clinton masks 55 to 45%. This is according to Spirit Halloween. The store says its best-selling Halloween mask has correctly forecast the outcome of every presidential election since 1996. It's an interesting barometer. We'll see if it holds up.
Yeah.
Automakers are, of course, working on self-driving cars, but the first delivery by a self-driving truck has now been completed.
Yeah, this semi-truck was created by Otto, a self-driving technology company. Otto, O-T-T-O, hauled more than 50,000 cans of Budweiser from Fort Collins, Colorado to Colorado Springs. That's a 120-mile journey on the interstate. A professional driver was on the trip to just kind of monitor the self-driving system. Otto says it hopes its technology will allow long-haul truck drivers to rest while their trucks continue to drive. As a former truck driver, I think that's a bad idea.
Yeah, can you imagine letting the truck do the driving?
And a self-driving truck is not going to know when to pull over at the chicken coop. Do you know what a chicken
yes.
coop is?
No, well, no.
It's a weigh station. The weigh.
Oh, okay.
You
yes.
copy that, Bernie?
Yeah,
Weigh,
sure, keep
weigh
going.
station.
I'm with you.
Breaker. Let's
Over
get
and out.
in.
You
I
know
love
CB
it.
talk here.